If you're stuck hooking the golf ball and you used to fight a slice, I'll bet you've tried everything. You've changed your grip, you've changed your stance, you've even tried to get your path less into out. But what if I told you the problem isn't your swing path or your golf swing, and your club face is just too closed? By the end of this video, you're gonna know whether it's your setup or whether it's your wrists in the golf swing that are causing you to hook the golf ball, and a few things you can do to try and fix it with your irons as well as that of your driver. Make sure to comment below. Do you hit it left or do you hit it right? I wanna know. Let me know below. Before even looking at your golf swing, let's look at your setup first. 9 times out of 10, first thing I see when people are hooking the golf ball is they have a tendency to point the club face too far to the left. If the face is pointed to the left, in order to try and hit this straight, you now actually have to try and open the club face. But anytime you're making a opening move in the downswing, you're actually slowing yourself down and you're just creating a wide range of problems. So let's first get the aim correct. We take our setup, you want to make sure that this club face is pointed either at your target or slightly to the right of your target, not pointed left. If I take somebody who's hooking the golf ball and the face is pointed to the left, this is the shot I generally see. A massive hook. If we simply take the club face and instead of hooding it, we hit it straight, we're gonna point this actually about 2 degrees out to the right, and we're just gonna make that same swing. That ball started a lot straighter with a lot less leftward curve. Check your face first. The other issue that I find set up is golfers have a tendency when they've fought a slice or they're used to hitting behind the golf balls, they start pushing the handle too far forward. So the face angle will actually point towards your target, but the further forward you get the hands, the more offset you create between the face angle and the front of the shaft, and that makes the face play more closed. So you can have the face lined up slightly right of the target to play a tiny draw or at the target, but have the handle too far forward. So we're gonna hit this shot, pushing the hand as far forward as we can, but we're gonna have the face make sure that it's set up slightly to the right. Hit that really good, but oh my gosh, you can see just how much that ball hooks. So if your face is pointed where we want, check your ball position and your handle location. Typically, I usually like the shaft and the left arm in a straight line, but if you're out here, you're probably gonna fight something that's a hook. If we move the handle back, closer to in line with the left arm, or even just a hair behind it, now I can play the face a little bit closer to that of my swing path, and I can actually hit the ball a lot straighter. So now instead of pointing the club outside my left shoulder, I'm gonna point it more inside my left armpit. Really high, really tiny curve, but very straight. So check your face, check your handle position, and how much offset you're creating first. If you can do this at setup, you're usually gonna have a lot easier chance of playing decent golf so that you don't have to try and think about it in the middle of your golf swing. If you're looking for help for your own golf game, make sure to click my links in the description in the comments below for my in-person lessons as well as my online lessons. What does your grip say about why your face is closed too much? There's a term out there called strong grip and a weak grip. I'm not a fan of either of them simply because they're a little too vague, but you're gonna hear it, so let's talk about it. Strong side of your body, if you're right-handed, is your right side, the weak side is your left side. That's where the term comes from. I prefer to just use how much rotation I have in each wrist. But the crease between your thumb and the side of your palm and your index finger create the dial in which we rotate. The stronger or the more towards your trail shoulder that your hands are rotated, you typically get this rolling action for free. This is a common fix with a lot of golfers and a lot of instructors just to try to get them to close the club face when they fight slices. The grip's gonna point just inside the armpit, the face is gonna point a couple degrees out to the right, but I'm gonna strengthen the heck out of the grip. Started straight, slightly left, hooked even a little bit more. So as soon as I take my hands and I rotate them towards my midline, midline's the sternum, or even slightly towards my left shoulder from where they were, they don't have to be all the way over here, we can make small increments to tune this out to where you need it. Every Tour Pro's grip is slightly different depending on how they deliver the club face. Find out which one works for you, but if you're hooking it, probably need to err slightly more towards your midline. So we're gonna go ahead and just put my normal grip back on there. We're gonna rotate the left hand so that this crease is rotated about 20 degrees to my trail side. And my trail hand is gonna feel like it's more straight up and down, but it has a tendency to sit 5 to 10 degrees to the right. Really high, pretty straight, tiny draw, not hooking, didn't lose any distance. All I did, control the club face, changed my grip. That fixed a lot. Now that's great and all to fix your irons. What about your driver? Same problems occur with a driver. If the face is getting pointed left, same concept. Ball's gonna go left. Normal ball position, face pointed to the left, handle straight up and down, normal grip. Ball's hooking a lot. Grip is the one that usually everybody struggles with the driver. It's very easy because the face sits in front of the shaft and there's usually less offset. But I see a lot of people with the driver get really super strong, just like we see with the irons. And the problem with that is when the grip is super strong, even though the face is pointed where we want it to go, I can't hit that ball high enough. So it just launches stupid low. It doesn't even have time to hook. It starts left and just hits the ground. So I want you to use that same grip trick. It may not be in the exact same spot as what you see with your irons. If you're hooking it and you can't present the club with enough loft to get it airborne, taking this grip and actually rotating it back towards your midline a little bit is going to help you get the ball up in the air and hook it a lot less. That's why you don't see very many tour pros playing with this grip, regardless of whether it's a driver or an iron. More neutral grip, 20 degrees with the left, 5 degrees with the right. Pretty high, tiny draw. Could go a little bit more, but I could make that function. If this is making sense to you, make sure to like this video, give me a hype, share it with your buddy, and also make sure to save it so next time you go to the range, you can pull it up and reference it when you need to. What if my setup's just perfect? Well, if you have a setup that's perfect and you feel pretty confident about it, that you're aligning the face to the right, the handle's not too far forward, it's in a good spot, your grip feels like it's fairly comfortable, and you still, for some reason, cannot figure out why your ball is hooking, the first place I'm gonna look is your follow through and what your wrists and arms are doing. Looking at some of these hooks, I want you to notice what my wrists are doing in the follow through. The problem 98% of people who hook the golf ball have is that when the face comes out the shoulder, it's facing down. What makes it face down is usually the right arm over-rolling, or what we call pronating, but then it also has a tendency to take your trail wrist and it flexes it. So you end up rolling it and flexing it, and the face comes out like this, and the miss tendency, unless your timing's perfect, is a hook. So the first thing that I tell people when they're working on their wristbands is you have to understand where to go. I take my comfortable grip at 20 and 5, shaft slightly forward, face slightly open, and the feeling I'm trying to create here is that I'm not letting my right wrist cross and I'm not letting my right arm overroll. These are the moves that kill and turn you into a hooker of the golf ball. If I try to keep my right wrist bent back and my inside of my right arm away from the target, and it doesn't roll where this elbow gets around, I can actually keep the face more open. We're gonna stop right here in the follow through, trying to keep this part of my elbow facing the sky and not letting the club head cross. Do this slow at first, and then you have to build the speed. But it's a lot easier to figure this out and play golf with the follow through than it is to try to fix it in the backswing or the downswing. That ball actually started slightly to the right and actually cut a little bit. But if you look at my exit, my face is a lot less down, my shaft is more vertical, and my follow through feels like this. The elbow's facing up, the right wrist is bent back. But I'm putting an emphasis on where the face is and where my wrists are. I don't want the pronation and the palmar flexion. I want you to feel like the elbow stays more up and the grip stays neutral. That crease is outside my shoulder. That crease is at my nose. If I maintain that, look at the club face change. Face went more into a neutral position. So slowly build this. Neutral setup, 90-degree follow through. Really high, really straight, almost no curve at all. That ball started right where I pointed the face at. And I'm really trying to make sure the inside of my right elbow ends up there. The problem that people have is they don't know how to swing fast from there. They feel like when they shorten the follow through, they saw it off, they lose club head speed. How do we add the speed back without rolling the club face? Because everybody associates this with club head speed and a release. Once you have this position in the follow through where the inside of the elbow is facing up, the right wrist is still extended and bent backwards. The release is not this. The release is vertical. So you add this piece in the stop and you rehinge it in the follow through so that the face comes through like this and then goes up. If that happens, I'm not closing the face and throwing the club head to the left, as I'm keeping the face pretty neutral to my swing path, but my energy is actually going vertical. So that rehinging motion allows me to keep the face slightly more in control, but also add speed. Tiny draw, not a big draw, but I hit it further than anything I've hit earlier today, hitting low hooks or trying to hit that hold off shot. My preference there is that ball is still just, it's starting too straight. It needs to start further to the right. So I either need to do this more or I need to set the face just a couple more degrees open, because that ball started almost at 0 and my face to path relationship was only 0.7 closed. So the amount of curve there wasn't really the problem. It just, the aim was slightly off. So if we get the face a little bit more open, ball started actually slightly right of the target and it's going to land almost right on the target. Those are the things you need to do to keep the face more open to the path to hit straighter shots and not hook it. Better players who fight a hook, this is the first thing we're gonna look for, is we need to learn how to control the face to the path in the follow through. The driver's no different. Same feels that we do with an iron we have to do with a driver. Because the face sits with no offset and it actually sits in front and creates onset, you may have to feel this the same, you may not. Depends on what you do with your driver differently or the same as that of your iron. The same concept applies. If the ball is hooking and everything with your setup is good, we have to understand that 9 times out of 10, you're over-rolling your arm, your right wrist is actually flexed, and the face is closing. So I do this same drill with a driver, and it's typically easier to fix with a driver because there's no offset. Really high, really straight, just chipping golf balls, not necessarily hitting them hard. It went 280 with me swinging at 70%. Control the face, you'll control your hook. Last week, we talked about how to close the face. Today, we learned how to open it a little bit. Most tour pros don't flip-flop back and forth unless they absolutely have to. They build in an intended ball flight that they can repeat over and over and over. But most people want to hit a tiny draw or a tiny cut. Pick one, become really, really good at it, and then go from there and watch your scores drop. We'll see you guys next week on the Golf TyKoon.